Hey guys, it's Ethan from Zimmer Labs, and this is a Dark Lord Proffieboard Neopixel Saber I just finished up for Tyler. This is a budget build that I did for him, and I think it came out pretty nicely. Tyler, I hope you like it. Let me know what you think, what your thoughts are, and if you are good with it, then I'll get it in the mail to you ASAP. To begin with, as you guys can see, it's a Watto's Junkyard and Saber Bay collaboration. The hilt is, that is, and it is a beautiful hilt. All the Watto stuff always seems to be really nicely done. This is definitely no exception. Finish is fantastic. The accessories that come with it are fantastic. They give you two different pommels, one that's vented for sound, one that isn't. They give you two different front ends, so you can do a 1" or a 7/8 inch blade rather than just an adapter. And then of course all the detail with all the little greebles on here, which are really nicely done. It's a beautiful hilt. Definitely one of my favorite favorite styles of Vader hilt. To jump into this guy, well, first of all, you can unscrew just the pommel. Although, for this installation, it doesn't really help all that much, because as you can see, it's just the speaker there. But it also unscrews in the middle here. It's got quite a few threads. And then, as you can see, we've got removable 18650 battery on a standard Keystone sled. And it is set up for safety with the indented positive side, so you do have to have a button top battery for it. On the other end we have, well, before we even get there, this is the Goth 3 Designs Padawan chassis. One of my favorites because I really like the style of this cover, that clip-on cover that covers the sound card, and in this case also Neopixels. The Proffieboard is sitting right there, mounted here, and then a piece of just thin electrical tape to insulate, and then a strip of Neopixels, and then on the back side diffusing material and also white, thin white film to give it the contrasting look of black on white, just so that it's kind of, you know, in style with that, you know, the imperial look of everything being little offset boxed ovals. Main power switch is here.
Indeed you are powerful, as the Emperor has foreseen.
I loaded it up with a bunch of good Vader quotes for startup. And then as you can see, there's some accent stuff going on here. It's kind of like a power turbine area. It's just, you know, it's just cycling basically in a standby mode. And when you power it up, it will, whatever the blade is doing, it's going to mimic down here on power up with all the same effects. And then it cycles back down to, this is a Cylon. But as you toggle through, the effects will change. This is a slightly wider Cylon. Slightly wider Cylon again. Even wider. Even wider again. And wider and a little faster. And a little faster. And a little faster. And a little faster again. Now we have a color cycle going by, so it doesn't go both ways. It just cycles through. And when you turn it on, it ramps up to, again, to mimic the blade color. And another Cylon. It's a much longer ramp up time to the electricity effect, which mimics, again, the blade. Up front, This is a homemade, custom-made blade plug that I did for this guy. This is the blade plug that it comes with, and it's fine, and it's probably more screen accurate than the one I made, but I personally love this style of blade plug with the big, clunky, heavy-duty, thick bar of steel just protruding right out in the middle there, and then a black background. But the best part is you get the illumination of the ring around the blade plug, where you don't get that with this guy, because this fills the entire emitter. If this was in there, there would be no shine through. So this way, Tyler, you get both blade plugs to choose from, whichever one you like best. Let's see. Switches are here. It's a plunger system, basically. So this greeble on the side here has two plunger arms that go into the control box this way. The top end is attached to the auxiliary button. The bottom end is the power. As you can hear from that, the action on the buttons is great. Really, really clean, smooth, easy to press, excellent action on those guys. The chassis itself is permanently mounted to the hilt, but is easy to access should you need to. The way you do that is to pop this greeble off. I have this mounted with some exceedingly strong double-sided tape. It can be glued, but if you glue it on, then you can't reach this little set screw right here, which is what locks the chassis in. The chassis is pretty, like I said, it's a pretty straightforward setup, budget build. This pogo pin style connector up here, TCSS, two steel rods, and then kind of a, I'm not sure we'd call this, I guess it's a retention ring, or just sort of just a foam ring to keep the chassis from wiggling inside. And then, as you can see, the Neopixel main lines run up through, and the switch lines run up and connect to the switches on the inside. And then you just have to tuck the wires in through this little cutout area so that they don't get mangled or mushed or anything, and just kind of slide it back in. Once it's in where you want it, you can arrange it in whatever orientation you like, you know, depending on where you want the battery and the cover to sit. You can face it in any direction you want, just as long as you don't twist it up so many times that you break the wires. You're good. And once you have it in, it only goes so far until the pogo pins start hitting the back side of the blade connector, and that's how you know that it's all the way in. Once it's in there, just retighten this set screw until you feel a little bit of pushback, and then once you do that, you're good. It's locked in place. Let's see. I guess that's about it as far as the chassis goes. This guy clips on. There's two clips here, and they clip on these two steel bars. Mid power switch.
Indeed, you are powerful, as the Emperor has foreseen.
And retention for the blade is here. The blade plug is illuminated. Blade connector back here. Neopixels on the inside, and then just the front end is homemade, custom made, something that I put together. And that mates with the pogo pins in there. Blade inserts obviously the same way. Orientation doesn't matter. Just slide it in and then tighten your set screws. Or set screw, singular. And you don't have to overdo it, just once you feel it have a little pressure on the blade, then you know you're good. It's not going anywhere, it's nice and firm. we got away from. There we go. So this is the opener, the first blade. I'll put this greeple back on real quick. So your opening main blade is obviously a nice bright red. Localized lockup, blade drag, blaster blocks. It does have the stab in it too, but I think I may have forgotten to put that code in, so I'll have to do that. Nice slow retraction. I think this was a test blade preset that I did. It's an audio flicker that's red and then like a salmon. It's just I wanted to see how it came out, and I'm not sure I love that. This is a dark orange. This guy is a orange red. Chartreuse, cause why not? This is just orange. This is yellow. I forget exactly what this is. I think this is a really minimal black and red audio flicker blade with a slow extension and a spark tip. Yeah, this guy is funky. I really especially like the ignition. I did a full blade lockup with this one just to be different. Fire blade. Turbine blade goes yellow to red. Electricity blade. This is another turbine blade that is white to red. And back to the beginning with the bright red and white flash blade. And that's about it for the blades. This guy also has Bluetooth. The Bluetooth is installed right up here inside the speaker cavity. Just about either right there or it's right there. I can't remember which side I put it on, but it's a good place to put it on this one because there is less of the hilt in the way to block the Bluetooth signal. So, you know, the signal gets right through the very pommel. It does have some holes in it, but if you are having difficulty mating with the pairing with the Bluetooth, you pop the pommel cap off, then you have a nice clean shot with no metal really in the way and a really good signal transference through there. And if I had my iPad handy, I would show you guys, but I didn't think of that before I started this video, so I don't have it handy. Yeah, I guess that's about it though. So, Tyler, let me know what you think. If there's anything you want added, subtracted. I'm going to take that second blade off because I'm not super thrilled with how that one came out. But other than that, she's done, she's solid, and she's ready to go if you're happy with it. Thanks for watching, guys.